Okay, so I made a video a while back on my character compendium about Plutia slash IrisHeart. In it, I lambasted the general animosity and discord between me and the fan base over the fact that I just can't wrap my head around the idea that people can even recognize a character as a sadist to begin with only on imagery, not on story context. However, this is not going to be one of those videos. I think it's better for me to be a bit more accurate and concise, so let me have round two. So let me establish a few things. 1. Plutia slash IrisHeart is written as a plot device first, a story joke second, and a character dead last. Bottom tier of that third one is so low that it reaches the Earth score. And when you look at it from that lens, her character starts to make a bit more sense than that. The general death of the author trope is where characters are presented in writing and the author says that they're portraying a character. So to say that Plutia is a sadist for X, Y, and Z shows a lack of awareness in her own writing context. And honestly, it makes me wonder if Naoko Mizuno isn't the only. I wonder if it makes me wonder if Naoko Mizuno is truly the sole author or not. It just doesn't feel like it. Either that or she's just so dead tired by the time she's done that she completely misses the entire story of Victory and Plutia's character arc. She displays a sort of sense of growth a little bit as her own just general disposition grows a bit unhinged, which makes sense because they're trying desperately to make this about a Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde scenario. And within that Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde scenario, they try to touch up on this, but then ultimately get cut short by their own portrayal by showing or telling us that the personalities are starting to blend. The thing is that with this sort of Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde concept, there's generally no coagulation of both personalities. It just doesn't work like that. It does not function as the rough commentary on dissociative identity disorder, which Plutia's character arc is what we kind of are supposed to lead. I think that overall, the reason why I don't think Plutia is a well-written character, why I think she's written as a character very last, is mentioning things like that. When you look at the trope and how it correlates to in real life diagnoses, and then you see a glaring contrasting psychological issue, it kind of puts a doubt on her entire character concept. She overall is... Oh, and that's the next thing I need to establish. One of the things that are notable in regards to her portrayal is the context behind it. See, what really impresses me is how the storyline evolved. Desperately wants us to believe she's a sadist, but with every single turn, they somehow impress me with how they undermine the whole concept, gimmick, and narrative by overall portraying her as a caring and compassionate woman. It actually impresses me that there's some sort of weird author-fan dynamic where we're supposed to believe that she's this character that she wants to portray, then use this context to utterly undermine it. I want you to pay attention to examples A and B, such as when IrisHeart beats R4, which more is along the lines of attention seeking. I've probably already stated this, but this is for the Redux video so that we can actually understand and I don't sound antagonistic or disparaging. Example 2 is when Plutia helps Blanc get her nation, ignore the little retcon after the end of the arc. And example 3, basically Plutia being Shinji's dad to a Shinji, this is an Evangelion reference by the way, with trying to get Noir to head over to Louis in the first place. Pretty sure I'm missing something. I'm sure there's another example somewhere else. What's impressive is that there's this really puzzling idea of expectations. Maybe it's just me, maybe maybe I'm out of the loop, but I just can't come to any sort of idea or expectation. I'm just gonna say, for full disclosure on that, her ideas and her conflict are just at odds with each other. Oh, and that's the other example I wanted to mention in regards to the whole refutation of the sadist aspect, because with her attention-seeking impulsivity, she ultimately gets that rewarded when Plutia's IrisHeart is owed a favor, and she could have done anything extreme or more in line with a sadist character, but she chose a bath scene. I'm not exactly sure that really kind of qualifies as personal sadomasochism. I just can't see it that way. There's just too much, for a character portrayed as... I want you to keep this in mind at the end of this all. Despite wanting us to believe she's a sadist, quite frankly, I can't help but, feel nothing but love and care for Plutia. And that is ultimately the final nail in the coffin of my, authors can make all the claims in the world world, but if ultimately it's invalidated by the text and the story they write, it's called the death of the author trope, where basically one aspect of the author overrisen. So let Plutia's love for Neptune, for Nepgear, for Ray, for Noir, and a slew of other people forever remain in your mind when approaching her character through a lens. I wanted you to take these aspects and statements I've made, and hopefully they'll reach out to you. Heck, you know what? If it allows you to only appreciate victory more, that's perfectly fine too. I don't really care for it. I felt disappointed with it, but I'm not gonna judge people for liking a game specifically. I'll always express my frustration, but that's all it is at the end of the day. And ultimately, that love and compassion is where I come in with a little plug at the end. Remember, so like the video if you have not already, subscribe if you are new, click the bell and select all. Be notified of more of my content. Follow me at Byron-Birch on Twitter. That's out, ladies and gentlemen, I'm One Man. I'm ahead on now. Yeah, feel